Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are working not on the SS, Corvette, or truck, but actually a tool for the shop. As you guys may remember, a while back we did a video on doing a DIY brake bleeder. Well, this has actually worked pretty well. I've used it several times on the Corvette. However, it can be improved upon. And what do I mean by that? Well, when I'm working on the Corvette and I have to bleed the brakes, I actually need to re-bleed it again because we've opened up the brake system. There's air in it. And today what we need to do is we're going to improve this tool. So the first thing we're going to do is actually update the cap that's on the end of this hose. You guys might remember I had a replacement cap that I bought from Dorman, and we used some RTV sealant to basically, seal this shut so that we could get some air, so that we could get it airtight and get this bleeder to work properly. Well, after the first time, that seal is gone. Like, I haven't been able to get a good seal on this hose since that first time. And I don't know, maybe it's just because it's been 6 months since I've used it and the RTV went bad. I don't know. But so what we're going to do today is actually replace that entire cap with a piece of metal. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you guys can see right here, I have a actual Motive Corvette cap. This actually cap, they call it their 3-pronged cap, and this is actually from one of the companies that makes the bleeders. And I've found this on Amazon. They sell a plastic version of this. I think the plastic version is like 20 bucks and it comes with the hose. Or if you spend like 30 or 35, whatever it is, you get the metal version. Well, I decided, you know what? Since we're probably gonna have to bleed the brakes on multiple cars, let's just go ahead and buy the metal version. And this will actually be, I would recommend buying this instead of going the route of the Dorman cap, just because it can, like I said, in my case, I lost the seal and it never got sealed again. And you can have multiple caps. I actually bought another one of those Motive bleeder caps. This one is actually for the SS. It's listed for the G8 SS and the Caprice. And so we have another Motive brake. This one is part number 1117. The other unit is 1118. So this is actually, if you can read it, the label, it's late model GM and Ford. So I think this one might fit Mustangs too. Don't quote me on that, but there is something like that. So now that we've got a cap for 2 cars, we need to be able to switch out these hose ends. And how are we going to do that? All I had to do was go buy a brass female-to-female coupler. This was like $4 at Lowe's. I'll have a part number in the description below for everything. And this simply is going to allow us to interchange the hose end right here on the end. So we'll put this coupler on here and we'll be able to switch out the hoses. So here you go. We have the coupler, we have the hose end that we had previously in the old cap that we have since modified. We just removed the cap. We have the little brass coupler and we have the hose end that comes with the Motive cap. That adapter that came with the Motive hose end is the same as the adapter that I used on the Dorman cap from the last video. Lo and behold, it happens to be the same fitting, so it's just a 1/4 inch brass female to male pipe fitting. Now, they've changed the name on that pipe. Okay, at least Lowe's has changed the name. It wasn't compression, it wasn't flared, it was just their normal like brass fitting. I don't know, they've changed the names of it several times in the last few years, but just for you guys, it's a 1/4 inch, I think it's 1/4 inch NPT, National Pipe Thread Fitting. They have them at Lowe's. And so as you guys can see, we'll be able just to unscrew this, put a wrench on here, change that out, and swap it for the hose piece that's on the end of here. So now we've got a multifunctioning speed bleeder, and I don't have much money into it. I have 20 bucks in the bleeder. I believe that fitting was like $3 at Lowe's, maybe $2. The coupler was another $4. And yes, the silicone hose and the caps are expensive. Like the metal versions are like in the $30, $40 price range. I think the plastic's like $20. Go with whatever version you guys think is going to work for you. Alright guys, we have the metal cap simply just pressed onto the brake master cylinder of the Corvette, twisted it. You know, it's a 3-prong tab. This is on there. Now, I have seen some people complain that the rubber is too thin or thick. They sell you 2 versions of the rubber gaskets that's inside of here. And I basically have the thin version on now, and some people have complained that it doesn't seal properly. But people have said when you try to use the thicker one, it doesn't seal either. So specifically with the Corvette, I think what I'm going to do is actually take the Dorman seal. I bought the that rubber gasket that's inside that cap. I bought that as well. We put that in there, and I think that'll make up that difference, because people were like, the thin's too thin, the thick's too thick, we need something in the middle. If you put that rubber gasket from the Dorman cap inside of that, that should make that work just fine. And this will simply go, you know, your brake fluid will be inside the container, you pressurize it, come through the bleeder, the garden sprayer hose to your adapter, through the silicone hose, and then into the master cylinder. And that's the gist of how this brake bleeder is going to work. Now all you got to do is put, you know, 10, 15 PSI in it. I do not have a PSI gauge on here. You could go in that detail, drill a hole, put a gauge on there. But honestly, guys, 5 or 6 pumps is about all that you're going to need. Open up your brake bleeder on the caliper. You know, let that push fluid through. When you stop seeing bubbles, close it. Depressurize the container by opening the lid, and then move to the next caliper. Or in this case, guys, have these big calipers on here from the Z06. You know, you have to bleed both sides. So what you're gonna do is put your bleeder on the outside edge first, open the caliper bleeder, you know, let the fluid bleed out, depressurize it, move to the inner, pressurize it again, open your bleeder, close it, move on to the next axle. You know, that's basically your next corner. That's basically what you're gonna do. Same thing for the SS. We've got big brakes on there too. We'll use the other adapter. We'll just swap this out. And you do that in the same pattern. Passenger rear, driver's rear, passenger front, driver's front. And that's basically bleeding your brakes. One more thing before we go. I will say this. You may want to put some threaded tape on here, the Teflon tape sealant. Just because I don't know if the brake fluid or the air, you know, I haven't tested it yet. I'm not sure this will be airtight. So just a fair warning, you may need to put that on. But anyways, I hope this update helps you guys. You know, if you guys have already done the first step of creating this cheap bleeder, with a little bit more money, you can make it a lot better and more functional with more than just one car. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Also, if you want to know when I upload new content, hit the bell notification button down below. And as always, if you want to help support the channel, click all the links down below. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.